In this video, I'm going to walk you through my 7-step objection handling process, the exact framework I use to turn no into yes without being pushy. If you're in sales, mastering this skill will make you more money, close more deals, and keep your pipeline full. Stay until the end because I'm doing a live role play so you can hear exactly how it sounds in a real conversation.
So the first thing I would just say is if you guys want to get a pen and paper out, I'll create a doc for you guys. Actually, maybe I'll even share the screen while I'm doing this, and then we'll knock this out. But if you guys can master this, the key here on this objection handling training is I want to make sure that whenever you guys commit to a call, right, and you invest your valuable time, right, where you have a chance to make some money, that you do everything you can to close that deal in one call. Meaning you don't give up when you get some kind of objection, because objections are 100% normal. Our mindset, the human brain psychologically is wired to object immediately and not just say yes, right? So it's normal for every single customer, pretty much 90% of them, to want to give you some kind of objection. And in reality, you're gonna see there's only about 6, maybe 5 different objections. It seems like, oh my God, there's a million different objections, but really there's not. There are only a few different core objections, and if you can master how to handle those, you guys will never have an issue again with the objections. So I'm gonna create this as we go. So the goal is to keep call control, reduce the resistance, and convert objections into clarity and commitment. And the reason we say clarity, it's another word for understanding, right? You need to get clear on the reason why the person wants to speak with the spouse, right? And you need to do that without sounding salesy. So this is a 7-step system. You're gonna use this for every single objection that you get. So the first thing you're gonna do, acknowledge and drop their guard, right? Second thing you're gonna do, clarify. John, when you say you wanna speak to your spouse or you wanna think about it, what exactly do you mean? Third thing, isolate it. And besides that, is there anything else holding you back, right? Fourth, you're gonna dig in, and this is the problem and consequence questions, the near-term impact. Don't worry, I'm gonna get into what each one of these is in a second. Number 5, you wanna reframe them. Get them looking through a different lens that ties to their goals. The reason we're on this call, John, ultimately is because you said that the business is struggling to get more jobs, generate more cash flow so that you could hire more employees and take better care of your family. 6, de-risk and give them the path, right? So this is very simple. It's a staged plan. It obviously is going to depend on which objection you get, right? But you're going to tailor it to them, but you're going to reduce the risk. I've done this with Katie live a few times. It's been a while, but I remember Katie, that one guy that was like, we didn't know the true objection until Katie started asking some more questions. And then his true underlying objection that came out, and she closed, same call, was that he was going on vacation, right? And he didn't say that that's why he didn't want to sign up, but he was fearful that his Google ads or whatever would be running while he was out of town. So by saying, no worries, we can totally wait, right? No big deal. But when you say you want to wait, what exactly is going through your mind? He divulged that he's going on vacation. Then we let him know that this type of a campaign as PPC could be paused anytime, which would immediately stop the spending, right? And then I think he was worried about commitment. We started with 6, we dropped it down to 4, and he was like, makes sense. Well, if that's the case, let's do it. And then number 7, you got to get them to commit, low pressure next step. So your tonality, all right? It should be warm, somewhat friendly. You should be smiling. If you're having a curious tone, asking a question, then your voice should be a little bit lower and slower. You're leaning in. And when you say you want to think about it, John, what exactly, right? You also want to make sure that you have empathy. So have some level of softness and understanding. Totally understand, right? When you're handling an objection, the one thing that you want to make sure you do is drop their guard. That's one of the first steps here, right? So the way you do that is by your tone of voice. If you say, well, what do you want to think about, right? Immediate guard goes up. So let's start with the most common one. Let's do, I need to think about it. So what do you guys think I need to think about it usually means? What's the fear?
They want to do research.
Yes.
There's fear.
Yes.
Not enough pain, value, built.
Yes. Unclear about the ROI. Usually I think that fear of the risk, right? If I spend this money, what's gonna happen, right? Or the too much ambiguity. They're unclear, right? They heard what you said, but they're not really sure how this thing works. So anytime there's a lack of clarity, someone's gonna be like, oh, I need to think about it, right? Because they're just unsure. So here's what you're gonna do step by step. I'm gonna give you a live example. All right, so step one, you're gonna neutralize it, right? Warm tone. Totally fair. Most owners wanna think it through. So anytime you guys get any objection, you can literally use this. Just so you totally fair. Most of the people I talked to felt the same way when we first got on the phone. Totally fair. Most people want to think it through. Next, you're going to clarify every single time, guys. So when you say you want to think about it, right? What part needs the thinking? Is it the investment, the timing, or confidence that it's actually going to get you the jobs, right? So you can be clear like this and give them options, or you can say, what exactly did you want to go over in your mind? Then they're going to usually tell you, right? They're going to give you the answer. Obviously, you're going to have to solve for whatever that answer is, right? So if they say something like, I'm just not sure if the timing is right, then you need to dig in and say something like, well, when you say the timing isn't right, what exactly do you mean by that? And what would be considered the perfect time, right? You can't just say, oh, well, when do you want to talk again, right? So let's go, let me just rewind. So when you say you want to think about it, what part needs the thinking? Let's say Brody says it's the timing, right? I'm going to say, besides that, is there anything else? So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to isolate it first, Brody. So if I overcome your concern about timing, you're committed to signing up right now. Because you just told me it's only the timing, right? So once we get that, you're going to dig in, right? Then you say, well, Brody, let's say nothing, if nothing changes over the next 60 to 90 days. What does that mean for your revenue, your leads, right? Or your cruise schedule? And what do you think how do you think the customer's gonna react? Not good, right? You're gonna be in trouble. Business has been slow, that's why we're on the phone right now. After that, and I'll give you guys a copy of this, I'm gonna reframe. So I'm gonna say something like, thinking is smart, right? As long as we're thinking about the right variables, visibility, call volume, and book jobs. That's what our plan controls, right? That's if you were saying you want to think about it. If he's talking about the timing, then you might say, you got to think about every day that we're not on Google. You mentioned earlier that you feel you might be missing out on 5 to 10 new jobs a week. Imagine how much money we're leaving on the table and we're losing every single day that goes by, right? So you're addressing the concern. Once you do that, right, you're going to give them, you have to give them a path out. And I think this is the part where a lot of us struggle. So what we do, what I hear in the calls is we try to address the concern, and then you say something simple, look, it takes 90 days to get up there, so you might as well start now. And then they go, well, I understand, but I still want to wait. I still want to think about it. So what you need to do once you address the concern is give them a path to still move forward right now that doesn't sound scary, right? So you're reducing the risk. So you might say, here's the simple path. We tighten your Google profile. We fix your website trust signals so that when people get to it, they actually want to work with you. And it doesn't look like this website was built overnight by a kid. And target only by high intent searches, right? Like plumber in Irvine, right? Then you're gonna ask for the commitment. And you're gonna say something like this. If we lock in that path and you're seeing the traction that we talked about, are you opposed to getting that build started today? Would you be opposed to getting started today? Right? You guys got that so far? Do you see how I'm doing, how this is all coming together, or is it confusing?
No, it makes sense.
All right, let me give you guys another one. I already wrote this one out. I want someone to role play it with me. Who wants to role play this with me? We're gonna do It's Too Expensive. Brody, Malak, Jonathan, I think Katie's on the phone. I need one of you three.
I guess.
So it's too expensive, right? That means they don't see the difference between your offer and something else, like some cheaper BS, right? Or they can't link the cost to jobs. Now, I know you guys deal with this one a bit, right? From the Google calls. Oh, it's too expensive. I don't have the money. So let's do this, Brody. So I'm going to be the closer. Brody, tell me it's too expensive.
Just a little out of my budget for now.
Got it. And Brody, I hear that a lot. And is that because it's genuinely outside your cash flow right now, or because it's hard for you to see the return?
A little bit of both.
And aside from that, is there anything else causing you any hesitation?
No, it's really just the budget.
And earlier we talked about this, but remind me, what's a book job worth for you on average?
Usually about $1,000.
And I think you mentioned that if you had to guess how many jobs you're missing out on each week, you said somewhere between 4 and 5, right?
Not there.
Yes, and so if that were 4 jobs a week, just on the low end at $1,000, right? We're talking about $16,000 a month that's walking away. But let me ask you, Brody, how many new jobs a month would make this a no-brainer for you?
I guess 4 or 5.
The real comparison isn't fee versus fee. It's fee, right, versus the cost of staying invisible while your competitors take all of those searches. You see where I'm going now? So what I'm trying to do is tell you that you're gonna pay a bigger price by waiting, right, than what it would actually cost for you to get that opportunity. Sorry, I set off character. So the real comparison isn't it's fee versus the cost of staying invisible, where competitors are taking all those jobs, Brody. We start with high intent buyers first, like emergency, near me, best plumber, Irvine, so that you're paying to capture demand, not to educate the market. Given your average job value, just one extra job covers the entire investment. Would you be against getting the launch scheduled for today so that we can capture this week's demand and we don't fall behind another week? Now that's the reclose, but obviously there's gonna be more in this conversation, but do you see how I'm doing that? How I'm manipulating it? So
I have a question.
Go ahead.
About that.
Yes.
So, what
I get to that part and then they'll say, oh, that sounds all good, 16,000 is a lot walking out the door. I would definitely do it if I could get the jobs, but I don't have anything right now to put toward it. So if I can get jobs, I have no problem paying you. How can we overcome that?
Right, and let me ask, I got you. Easy. I deal with this one every day. I'll crush that. So let me ask you, Jonathan, why do you think you might be in the financial position that you're in right now, where you don't have a lot of free cash and the jobs just aren't coming in? Why do you think that might be?
I don't know what happened, but I was #1 for the past 2 years, and my Google listing got suspended. So I've noticed that it's been hurting me, and that's been over 2 months now. So,
right. And so, whose responsibility, ultimately, at the end of the day, is it to fix that? Yours.
I don't have anybody that's managing it. I don't have anybody right now. But Google should be taking care of this.
Are you paying Google to do this marketing for you, or is this just a blessing in disguise? You got lucky, or are you actually paying for a lead generation service?
No, I was working with the company. I was working with Google. I was #1 on the map.
You were paying them, or your free listing was just getting you some work?
No, I was paying them a couple $100 a month.
Oh, you were paying Google. Hold on. All right, time out. I need to clarify. So you were paying Google a couple $100 a month for the maps? Because they don't have.
I think they get the confusion of paying Google versus a marketing agency, but I do come into the fact of when they say, oh, I was #1, now it's been so slow.
Right.
Now I'm trying to work back uphill. It would be nice if I could get additional jobs, but like, once I get those jobs, I don't mind paying you.
Let me ask you a question, Jonathan. How do you think you're going to be able to obtain those jobs that you are not getting right now and you cannot get? What do you think would be the easiest, fastest way for you to start getting those jobs again?
I don't know. I've been dropping off flyers and business
Come
cards.
on, you do know. You just told me that you were getting them. What position were you in before? So let me ask you the same question one more time. What do you think would need to happen for you to get a bunch of new jobs like you were before? What do you think would need to happen in your business and your visibility for you to get back to where you were before when you were getting a bunch of phone calls? What's changed? Brody, do you guys get where I'm going with this? Can someone chip in?
Yeah.
Jonathan, I can give you the answer. I can give you the answer if you don't know, but I was hoping that you would role play.
No, I headset cut out. No, so I'm just giving you examples of what that occurs, but in order for me to do it, I do have to invest, okay? But
you're not. Rewind. We got to play this like a real scenario. I'm trying to help you. Hold on. We'll go back down that road, Jonathan, in a second. So let me just reiterate, Jonathan, right? You mentioned that you would do this if you had the money, right? You also mentioned that you were at the top of Google a few months ago. You don't know how you got there, but you were. And now that you're not there anymore, the phone stopped ringing and business is dead. So you're saying you don't have the cash to invest right now unless someone could, I don't know, guarantee you jobs. Does that sound about right?
correct.
Now, let me ask you this. What do you think needs to happen for your phone to start ringing again? How could we make your phone ring again? What would be the easiest way based on your past experience where your phone was ringing? What would need to happen again?
I guess paying for the marketing.
No.
Fixing the phone.
What physical exposure do you need? And where do you need to be on Google for your phone to ring again? And where on the maps?
At the top.
And who can help you get there?
Or you guys?
Exactly. So now,
Right.
let me ask you a question. Does it make sense for us to move forward and do business together based on your past experience, knowing that if we get you back in a position on the front page, which, mind you, we guarantee in writing, right, to get your business back to where you want to be? Does it make sense? Let's move forward. Right? So that's how I would handle that. And then I would hit them. If you still fought with me, I would hit you with the emotional. And I would say, look, Jonathan, I empathize with you, and I understand that it's frustrating and challenging that you disappeared off the first page of Google, which was supporting your entire business. But don't you think it's kind of crazy that if that was whether that was determining whether your family eats dinner tonight or not, and you said you weren't monitoring it at all, right? Whose responsibility ultimately do you think that is? Yours. It is, right? So in part, you've got to take some accountability here, right? Yes, you were fortunate. You didn't spend a ton of money. I know you said you spent a couple hundred here and there on some marketing stuff. You got fortunate with the Google Maps free profile that whatever, let's say, got to the top, but you neglected it, right? And now that it's been neglected and you're in a tough position, the only way that I do too, that you can get back to where you want to be is to hire a professional like us to get you back in the right spot. Now, let me ask you one more question, even though I think I know the answer. If we did get you back on the front page in Google Maps, do you feel like you'd get the calls, the jobs, and make the money to make this payment for our program, the $9.99 a month Elevate, a no-brainer?
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, how much were you making before it went down? How much money were you bringing in a month?
Say that one more time.
How much money were you making when you were at the top before it went down, on average? What were you bringing in?
Monthly, about 15 to 20.
All right, I'm done. We're talking about $9.99 a month to guarantee you back. And you're talking about you were making 15 to 20 grand. Man, all right. I'm going to fill out the order, okay? You see, so that's how you do it. But is that you? Or do you have any other questions?
Yeah,
You guys, Brody, Malak, any questions on that?
No, that was good.
All right, I want to do this one with you guys, okay?
So if I run into a couple people where they said that they've worked with one or two Google partners and I've looked them up to verify and they are actual partners,
Yeah.
what's seen is that their trust obviously is down. So you're no different than, what is a good way to overcome or flip their concerns? Because we're all partners in a sense.
All right, so yeah, that's a whole different objection. You want me to handle that one? I was gonna do I want to shop around, but I can.
Oh, go ahead and do that one. That's fine.
But I'll give you a quick little synopsis, guys. So what's step one from the training? What is the first thing you do when you get an objection?
Totally understand. I would too.
Exactly. Totally understand. A lot of our clients came to us, Jonathan, after being burned by other Google partners. It's normal. And it's frustrating when you put your trust and budget into a marketing company and don't see a return. Okay? Now you're gonna so now he's like, oh shit, this guy's on my team, right? Now it's time to separate yourself. The truth is, Google Partner is a certification, not a guarantee of results. Now, we've been a partner for years, 15 actually. But what makes us different is the actual strategy, the transparency, and the execution that we bring. We don't just set up campaigns and hope they work blindly. We actively manage, we optimize, and we report on them every single month so you know exactly where your money's going. Most agencies run very generic campaigns, which get generic results. We custom build yours around specific service area, competitive landscape, and profit-driving keywords. Then we track actual leads and calls, not just clicks. That's why we've been able to scale over 50,000 service-based businesses like yours and a lot into multi-six and even seven figures in annual revenue. If you want, we could always start with a short-term plan so you could see the difference before making a long-term commitment. We're confident you're going to notice better communication, better tracking, and better results in just the first 90 days. Okay, so an example, what I might say. Does that help?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. But there's that you might have to say, like so anytime you get an objection, let me shut my door. That's like you're gonna have to build trust. So what are some things you could do to build trust?
Empathy.
Malak, are you paying attention?
Yes.
Okay, good. Empathy, but that's not what I mean. When I mean build trust.
Examples, office showing previous
Yes. What else? Case study, right?
Case study.
Results from other people. Maybe a sick ass website that we just completed they're gonna be like, damn. Start showing some proof. It's like, all right, you want to see what separates us? Let me just give you a taste of our quality real quick. You're still looking at my screen? We just built this website. It went live yesterday. Here's the website they had before. Here's what it looks like now. I'm just giving an example. Here, logging into a client portal. This is an HVAC contractor just like you. You see where it says he's #1 on Google for all those keywords? That's exactly what we're going to do for you. Here, let me show you this client. He ran Google Ads last month. The average cost per lead for HVAC is about $150, right? I'm sure you felt that with Home Advisor. You see right there where it says he's getting $37 leads? That's the kind of results that we get for our clients, Jonathan. Now, does that make you feel a little bit better about giving us a shot to take your business to the next level? Cool, right? So that's another thing. But let's do the shop one and then let's get going because this is a long one and this one will change you. So I want to shop around. So I'm just going to skip down. This pre-frame early, if you don't say something like, and if we can get you started today, I'd love to help you out, then you can eliminate the shop objection. I'm not going to tell you quite yet to remove that because this was a general sales training that I built, not just for us, but for anyone. So let's just start with step 1, acknowledge and lower resistance, okay? So time, totally understand, right? Add a micro pause. This signals safety and it gets them to open up. Step 2, ask for permission to explore, okay? Prepared for what you're comparing, Brody. Mind if I ask a couple quick questions?
Sure.
Okay. Sorry. Now, the reason why I said that is because I'm gaining your consent, right? And I'm taking control back immediately. Now, step 3, isolate and compare. What exactly are you hoping to find, Brody, that you don't see here when you go out and shop?
I guess just maybe a better price.
Okay, so more about price?
Yeah.
Okay. You found the perfect option today. What would make it perfect?
I mean, everything you explained sounds pretty good, but like I said, if you get it at a better price, then I'd do that.
Okay, perfect. Before you compare, what top 3 non-negotiables that you need to see in order to move forward?
I guess something that's going to get me more business, like somebody who can do the job, like I can trust.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's good. Cool. So I'm going to scroll down, guys, because I have everything here down to every mini objection. So you see how I'm scrolling down? And then it says number A, if they say price, because you said price.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm going to move to this. So if 2 options were the same price, Brody, let's say you go out there and you realize that everybody's charging $549 for the awareness. Which one would you choose and why?
I guess the guys that I trusted more.
Okay, so it sounds like you value trust. And what exactly would make you trust one person more than the next?
I don't know. This is just a feeling.
Okay, and how do you feel about our interaction right now? Do you feel like you can trust us? Me?
Yeah, I feel like you know your stuff.
All right, then what proof would help you feel certain? I mean, to show you some specific results, some references, or a simple rollout plan, like if we started now, what would happen next?
Yeah, do you have any tree services kind of the same area that you're
I do.
success with.
Yeah, let's show you. Perfect, okay? So objection, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but yeah, now I would show you, right? And now I'd say something like, okay, top 3 most important things are, right? And feeling. We've addressed them, right? You said you feel comfortable with me. You saw that, Jeff's tree service, right? Anything I missed?
No.
All right, well, based on your criteria, Brody, does that now meet what you need to go ahead and want to move forward?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right, cool. Done. So, there you go. So, you guys, I'll share this with you. You can read through it. Let's hit phones, but you guys get it now, so it's really that easy. I totally understand. I'd probably feel that way too. A lot of people say that. Right? Drop the card. Let me ask you, when you say you want to talk to your spouse, when you say you want to think about it, right? What exactly did you want to think about, right? Okay, and whatever they say, you have to be prepared to either provide evidence, build more trust, show credibility, right? To prove it. 99% of the time, it was cost, right? Did you hear me try to drop price at all? No, right? And you were like, it's the cost, right? It's important. Obviously, it started with I want to shop around, but the reason why you wanted to shop around is because you thought maybe it was expensive. And then I might say, what exactly are you comparing that to, Brody? Have you done a Google search recently for what's the average cost of local SEO?
No.
Oh, here, let's do it together, right? And then, guys, I'll do it. I'll just say, what's the average cost of local SEO? And then I'm going to show them from $300 on the low end to $2,000 a month. So now, do I still sound expensive? You know what I mean? Right? So this is, you guys, I would you to leverage data, facts, social proof, Google, right? When you get some kind of like, whoa, I don't know about that. Because they're saying I don't trust you. And now I'm saying, all right, don't trust me. Trust third-party evidential facts that are undeniable. So now, Brody, you could have no rebuttal, right? Let's say we were talking about the essentials and I had you at 300 or 349, right? I'd be like, look, that's our baseline plan. Now that you can see that there really isn't anything that exists that's of decent quality for under $300 a month, does it make you feel more comfortable spending that kind of money with us? With the peace of mind that you're getting a Google partner too? And then, yes, of course, right? Now, obviously, I'm hoping that you guys are starting much higher. You guys should be starting as high as you can. I had a person yesterday that I think was perfect for Elevate, new, but I started at ProGrowth because I wanted him to feel like there was something more to reach for. You know what I'm saying? I wanted him to feel like, oh, well, by doing the Elevate, he recommended ProGrowth, right? But I should be doing that one. So if I do the $9.99, right? So he still feels like he's in the middle and he's reaching versus starting at Elevate and then landing at the awareness. Because he's like, oh, well, I know that's your best plan and you recommend I start there, but it's just way too high, right? Well, way too high and where they start and the amount they pay you is 100% dependent on where you set the bar. I'll say that again. Way too high, the amount they pay you is 100% dependent upon where you set the bar. So always set the bar a notch or two above where you want to land. Because we know most people aren't going to go for the first recommendation. We know most people, you always start with the setup, aren't going to go for the first price. So your foundation so that you have room. But what you don't want to do is start at a level to where if you have to go down, now you're at a discount level, you're at the bottom package. You spent 45 minutes selling a deal, let's say to get a $2.99, let's say Malayak, for example, to make $130. Brody took the same call, let's say, spent the same time, and he made $600 and quadrupled your money, right? I'm not saying this is reality. I'm just saying don't do that to yourself. Now, there are people that we have to sell for that price. I sold one the other day. Like, I get it. But at least give yourself the opportunity so that you're maximizing every close. And know that if you don't close today on one call by handling those objections, that the odds of you closing ever that sale just went down by about 90%. So I would rather have you fight your balls off and come to me and pull me onto the phone with your client. Yes, I'll jump in. I've done it. I'll do it for you. Then set a call back, because we all know what happens. Even Brody, you had that guy the other day, right? Like, the guy sounded super interested. Now he's been ghosting for 2-3 days, right? You probably had him right there. So I'm not saying you did anything wrong in that scenario. It's just like, do exhaust everything without burning the lead to close them one call, because you don't know if you're going to talk to them again. That's your mentality. That's always been my mentality. No pressure, right? And the way you feel no pressure is you always come from a helping place. Look, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to help you get here, which is what you said you wanted and why you called in today, right? That's my job. So in order for me to go home tonight and get a good night's rest when I lay down and put my head on the pillow, I have to know that I did everything I possibly could in my power to help you, right? So that's kind of what else is missing. Like, there's really no reason for us to talk again in 2 hours or tomorrow. You know, you up this morning, you knew this problem existed. Obviously, you knew you were gonna have to pay to fix it. Is there something you don't like about me? Did you read something that threw you off about us? Like, talk to me. What's going on? I know this is a high priority and I wanna help you get it fixed right now, right? That's the mentality. Now, if you do all that and then they're still like, no. But if you haven't done that on every call before you hang up, you're wasting your time, you're wasting their time, you're wasting your money, right? Because if that happens to you 2-3 times a day, that's 3 hours of your day, right? And we got no deal. So just make sure that you do that on every call. Time is money, and that's why you see in different industries, a top performer can triple or quadruple the next person's income. Because not only are they better at sales, they're better at managing their time. And all those deals that other people go, yeah, let's follow up, they end up closing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it multiplies. All right, guys, I know I've kept you on for way too long, so hopefully that helped, and hopefully you guys use these docs to close today. Cool?
Cool, thank you.
Yeah. All right, boys.
Thank you.
See you in the queue.